Hello. In this video, I'd like to explore something rather sensitive, as it is still happening in this conflict between Ukraine and Russia, and that is the blame that people attribute to the less than spectacular performance of the Russian army to intel, to intelligence, that maybe the leader was not given, or was not fed the true information, the right information. And if you read the internet, you'll see that the argument is that he was being fed information that he wanted to hear. Now, this is something that is interesting and problematic, and we didn't anticipate this problem, because Russia as a whole is well known for their proficiency in gathering of information. Moreover, Ukraine is just next door to Russia and is very much a Russian country. It was formerly part of the Soviet Union, and therefore this intel gap between reality and what is being reported as reality, this gap, the argument was that the information was being, only the positive information, what the leader wants to hear, was given. And therefore this emerged, and this, I think, will be a major Russian-Ukraine war would be a major case study of how this problem arose and how this problem may well be avoided in the future. As you know, I like to look at this world event and then to comment on it from a Chinese, or from a Sun Tzuian perspective. And now I see this war, and Sun Tzu emphasized heavily on the role of spies in chapter 13. His last chapter actually was the prescription for winning wars. If you win it, it contains the elements of how you win war. Is not contained in chapter 13. And of course, Sun Tzu provided a taxonomy of spies, but I want to focus here really that uncertain on spying, perhaps somebody is better than Sun Tzu on this. And in my study of past Chinese emperors, yes, emperors, there is one lady, and she is the Lady Emperor, not empress. So, empress and emperor has a very different connotation in the Chinese imperial system. She became, right, she joined the Tang dynasty, and she was nearly 14 years old as the imperial selected for the concubine. What happened? She rose and rose and rose from imperial maid right all the way up to become sage emperor. And that must be due to politics. She was very strong in keeping to power, knowing how to maintain power in an inner palace. And I written a book on this Imperial Mind, if you like to have a look at it. A short book, but it portrays the stratagems of this marvelous lady who rose during the Tang dynasty. Now back to spying. What did she do? And for her success, information is the key. If she's given the wrong information, or information is delivered late and untimely, she will be in trouble. But her only reliance on power is really on her network spies, or I would say informant. Better word will be informant. Now you see on this video, all right, again, as I put 2-3 pictures. One is her portrayal by artists, and I think quite accurate one. Then there is, if you look at it, on the top, a spy, the normal spy, usual spy. And then you have got this, below that, what I call spy on spy. Now, I think she must have anticipated these problems, that people spies may well try to, give her good information, the type of information she wanted to hear, and she therefore had a spy whose specialty was to spy on spy. In other words, it is a verification process. And what is surprising, really surprising for me, right, about this conflict, is the fact that, right, Russia has got not just one organ, the FSB. There's also the SVR, the GU, or the former GRU, and the Rosguardia. It is, and the budget for spying is hefty. 28% of the budget of national budget goes to security services. All right, and therefore this is a real problem, a root problem, something that has become a very important key aspect of this Ukraine-Russian conflict, getting the right information up to the top level, unfiltered. And therefore, when I compare and contrast, you see, in the case of Wu Zetian, right, that's her name, this Lady Emperor, she don't know who her enemy is, because she works in a palace, and she's female. And I believe female has got strong intuitive power, maybe, right? I mean, of course, the raw intuitive power in politics is something which has not been explored or researched on, but very clearly, is the fact that she had not the luxury, like in the case of Sun Tzu, to know in the battlefield, the art of war written, knowing who the enemy is. And therefore the focus of Sun Tzu was to target your enemy and then really to get information and through a network of spies. That is the basic model of Sun Tzu. But in her case, it is far more complex component, because in a palace politics, a friend could turn to become an enemy. And therefore you find that, studying Wu Zetian would be useful as a complement to understanding Sun Tzu. And as I said, right, she added one more she layered to the spy, and that is spy on spy, the one who you rely on information may well in the process, but because of your position and strength, may not be giving you exactly what you want to hear. No, not exactly the real situation, and giving you exactly what you want to hear. And that is high risk. And therefore there has to be another process to ensure that doesn't happen. Right. I'm watching this Ukraine Russian crisis. I hope it ends soon, so that it doesn't cause more agony and suffering for the world. And this is what I'm doing. I'm a Sun Tzu expert, and I'm trying to look at through the world events, current affairs, from the lenses of Sun Tzu, and also from the lenses of how the Chinese, given their 5,000 years of civilization, with accumulated wisdom, will look at the world events. Thank you so much.